Thousands of Putin's soldiers are stranded and starving to death on islands in the Dnipro River after being cut off from other Russian forces. As many as 5,000 Russian troops are believed to have perished in the death zone, a marshy islet south of Kherson, according to the Daily Mail. Cloaked in makeshift camouflage made of reeds and mud, they lie low in the water, hoping the narrow channels will conceal their escape back towards Russian-occupied territory. But high above, Ukrainian troops are watching their every move. Soon, the buzz of a suicide drone cuts through the mist. It swoops on the boat, and then it explodes, says the Telegraph. The stretch of water is known for its reed-covered marshes, with narrow tributaries feeding into the river and acting as a natural barrier south of Kherson. After identifying the troops through ripples in the water and with their position locked, Ukraine's suicide drones swept in to target the soldiers as they attempted to flee. The area is a death zone for Russia. Colonel Alexander Savnotov of Ukraine's 30th Marine Corps said, "The river's location means the right bank is held by Ukraine, with the lower-lying marshland on the left, which is often prone to flooding, currently occupied by Russian troops." Ukrainian intelligence suggests that 5,100 Russians have died this year alone on the delta, either through a lack of supplies or after being targeted by Ukraine's military. The prisoners that our fighters recently took on the islands talked about the inability to deliver food and drinking water to them. And they have to drink water from the river, said Colonel Zavtonov. Enemy advances are carried out by small groups that try to camouflage themselves, a tactic not seen at the beginning of the war, added Oksana Kozan, head of the analytical department at the Ukrainian Security and Cooperation Center. Russian military units remaining on the islands in the Dnipro Delta are facing serious problems with food, ammunition, and rotations. Relentless drone flights, artillery clashes, and night raids has turned the area into one of the war's most perilous battlefields. From elevated positions along the right bank, Ukrainian soldiers watch the marooned Russians from above, directing drone strikes and artillery fire onto the exposed islets. The landscape offers little cover from aerial attacks, leaving Russian soldiers nowhere to hide as they are picked off by Ukrainian strikes. Oksana Kozan, head of the analytical department at the Ukrainian Security and Cooperation Center, said, "Russian military units remaining on the islands in the Dnipro Delta are facing serious problems with food, ammunition, and rotations." She added that these small group infiltration attempts using camouflage and stealth are a relatively new tactic not seen at the start of the war. The islands allow small teams the chance to gather intelligence or establish radio links to extend drone operations. Controlling the waterways also gives troops leverage over river crossings, small boat movements, and enemy resupply routes. There are reports that Russian soldiers have been forced to buy motors and boats out of their own pockets to try and make progress. John Hardy, Deputy Director of the Foundation for Defense of Democracy's Russia program, told The Telegraph that these conditions made resupply and troop rotations in the area an exceptionally difficult challenge for Russia. In general, at this stage in the war, moving to and from positions is among the most dangerous things you can do. So rotations tend to be infrequent, he said. During the fighting in the Lyman direction, another Russian occupier surrendered to Ukrainian defenders. Moreover, as it turned out, The prisoner is considered an elite of the army of the Russian invaders because he is a special agent of the GRU, the main intelligence department of the general staff of the aggressor country, according to Oboz Revitel media outlet. The soldier from Penza was in the ranks of the 3rd Brigade of the GRU. This is Ivan Musatov, born in 2006. His story about the elite of the occupation forces was published by the so-called Mykolaivsky Vanyok, the host of the most popular Ukrainian Telegram channel. The young man from Penza told a lot of interesting things about both the army of the invaders and the GRU special forces themselves. According to him, Russian soldiers have to buy literally everything, like uniforms, with their own money. The commanders of the invaders pay no attention to the age, professional skills, and military training of their subordinates. Everyone is stormtroopers. That is, meat for the meat stormtroopers. In the elite, that is, in the GRU special forces, everyone is the same, young and inexperienced, says Ivan. According to him, there are practically no ideological people among Russian soldiers. The vast majority, like myself, signed contracts for money. And in general, he says, all that remains of the GRU special forces is the name, and in essence, nothing serious. The special forces were captured, as he himself believes, by accident. Their group of 14 soldiers was supposed to occupy a supposedly empty landing. In fact, there were only 12 invaders in the group. They came to the landing and there were Ukrainian soldiers there. Ivan surrendered because he wanted to live. He was surprised that he wasn't killed, and now he doesn't advise his fellow countrymen to sign a contract and fight with the Ukrainians at all. The so-called GRU Special Forces are special forces units that were created during the Stalinist army in October 1950. However, they became separate elite units 15 years later. The military doctrine of the USSR of that time stated that in the event of a military conflict with NATO, the GRU Special Forces should be the first to defend the homeland. The training of GRU Special Forces correspondents to the mission of his military unit, and the task was to appear in the immediate vicinity of enemy command posts, air bases, and other strategic facilities, conduct reconnaissance, and if necessary, destroy the facility. Oboz Revitel says. Separately, GRU Special Forces are trained to disrupt communications, energy supplies, destroy transport communications, sow panic, and create chaos in enemy states. But despite all the elite nature of the Russian Special Forces, more than 90% of the combat personnel of this army structure of the occupiers were destroyed in the war in Ukraine, as reported recently in Poland, Lithuania, and Germany. Special services discovered a large group of GRU agents who organized and planned to carry out several terrorist attacks in various European countries.